General review and disposition. Anything to add?
I just have to add under the non-public session, it's personnel. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Minutes of June 3rd, 2019. I'd ask for a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Privilege of the floor. If anyone would like to speak. Lucas, go ahead.
Well, let me put my nose up.
Just us, Luke. Just take a deep breath. That's it.
You know us all.
It's your mom up here. Just keep talking mom.
we all
That's
know
all you
you.
gotta do.
Pretend you're talking to your mom.
So, the summer of 2017, I started a program called the JACS, Junior Action Club, which is a youth program. In fact, it focuses on the youngest in the Katy organization. It's a program within Katy, Communities for Alcohol and Drug-Free Youth, and we just wanted to get the prevention message out, letting the kids know before they reach a certain age where they actually are able to, it's in their hands, like they are able to buy it, they are able to purchase it and use it. So what I came here to talk to you guys about today was the Jax and Katie need a little help getting recruitment with other schools in the SAU. We are trying to branch out into different schools instead of just focusing here on Plymouth. So in Holderness, Campton, Rumney, Waterville Valley, and Wentworth. I was here to ask you if you have any suggestions or if you guys can help me by sending these on email and branching out to different principals within the SAU to hand out to their students before August 15th, I believe it is. We have a meeting, and that meeting addresses what Plymouth has done so far and what the other SAU schools can branch off, and the other leaders to branch off and help get their school in the running with Katie. We are also looking for a 7th grade summit, which is basically a summit for 7th graders, almost an all-day field trip to, we don't know the location yet or time, but it's basically where some speakers come, speak about drug prevention. The leaders within the different schools will have their own presenting prevention messages to share with the whole 7th grade within the whole SAU. So every 7th grader from all schools in the SAU 48 will come participate hopefully and learn about drug prevention before they reach a certain age.
I think that's, first of all, thank you for your article in the paper.
If you guys want to come look at it,
It was awesome.
it's right here. I only have one copy. I apologize, but
We all have some copies. I know I kept my copy too. Obviously, this is outstanding, and we completely embrace it, and I think it's easy to reach out to the principals. You would like, who would you like at the August 15th summit?
who would I like?
Who needs to be at that?
I think we have it all figured out.
Mhm.
The 4 main people from Plymouth, myself, Caroline Frost, Natalie Frost, and Cooper Legacy.
But, so you want students?
Yes,
And,
students.
okay, and then there's is the 7th grade summit separate?
7th grade summit is separate.
Okay.
And
that's
the
for-
leaders from this meeting will help.
You need organizers.
Set up,
Okay.
yeah.
And are you looking for grade 7 leaders, Luke?
We are looking for 7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th, okay.
Eighth grade, and Plymouth has this unique special program called the Launch Program, and that is where we really focused on, we didn't want them starting at 8th and going into high school with the Yaks. Jacks wanted to have it start through 4th grade, and then they can get from 4th grade all the way up to a senior in high school with being in with the Katie program. But yeah, just getting that message out, more students and leaders within the school district.
And if they can't make next week's meeting, should we contact you or Mrs. Brochu?
I suggest Mrs. Brochu, just because she has the calendar.
Okay,
And she has all that information.
okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have my phone on me, so I don't know
Not a
what
bad
her
thing.
number is.
We
off the top
have,
of
we
my
have her
head.
contacts, so
Okay.
we know how to get a hold of her.
But, yeah, just more students would be awesome.
Got it.
And so the 15th is, you're looking for 7th and 8th grade leaders, not all the students?
Not all the students,
Okay.
just handpicked from like the principal or
Okay.
interested students that would be interested in being a leader, 7th and 8th graders.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll spend some time tomorrow doing that. That
All right,
sounds
thank
great.
you.
And I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Nice
Very
job.
nice.
Thank you.
That's great. Anyone else? Principals report?
Hi, everybody. It's been a great summer. I don't want to jinx us, but we've had a really super smooth summer here at Plymouth Elementary School. I guess the first thing we wanted to do is walk through our handbooks. Those are a big deal to get back to everyone. So we have the student parent handbook, which in all of the handbooks, there have been minor changes. In the student parent handbook, we have changes. We added information about the school resource officer. We added information about a multi-tier support system where we have 2 people helping students with behavior. We changed names. I think we added a line about lice, but that's really the gist of the changes. All of the policies have remained the same and haven't changed. And we look at that document as kind of a living, breathing document. If things come up over the year, policies that we do think should change and be in that handbook, we bring it to you and ask for your approval for that. So we're hoping that tonight we can get that approval from you and move on to hand that out to parents.
Any questions? Has everyone had a chance to review? Yeah, okay. So make a motion. Oh, go ahead.
I'll move that we approve the student handbook as it's drafted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good.
Thank you.
All set.
And then the second is the responsible
Responsible
use for technology in the building. And again, minor changes. I think keeping cell phone, I think we have a
Literally, we changed the date on the cover. After reviewing it with Carol Lavas and everything, it's a pretty good
It's top
document.
notch, yeah.
And
It's,
it covers staff and students, correct? It's supposed to be an inclusive.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
I will move that we move forward with the technology update as well. Policy.
Second?
I would second that, yes.
All in favor?
Did you want
Aye.
to? Yeah. Okay.
Great.
And then the last, when we're talking handbooks, is our emergency management plan. And I apologize, I did not shoot that out to you in an email because every time that I put it in an attachment, it went totally wonky on me and it didn't look very good. So I brought copies if you'd like, but essentially same thing. It's the same document with minor changes of literally changing the year on it. Anywhere where Chief Casino Clogston was mentioned, like as part of the emergency team, we've substituted in our new chief, Tom Morrison, and our Deputy Fire Chief, Jeremy Bonin. We've changed a few of the safety partners. That's, towards the very back of the document, just because of mere location changes for those few individuals in the building. And I did contact Steve Temporino over at Plymouth State University because there is a point in there where it just mentions some of their contact personnel and assisting staff if we were to have an off-site evacuation. So I wanted to make sure that all those personnel were still in place. And he did say that there is one person who has either left or is leaving, and they have not named a replacement yet. So he said, obviously, as soon as they get that replaced and they know who that person is, he'll let me know, and I'll just make that change in the document. But other than that, it should be ready to go. We send it off to the Department of Ed, as we do every year. I think that's September 1st that's due. And so we're in good shape. Last year, I think we sent it out on August 21st, so we're a little bit ahead of the game. And and other than that, that document is pretty solid at this point. We did a lot of work on that 2 summers ago. And as part of that document too, we do have a promulgation statement, which basically we took care of that last year as well too. That was a new addition to it, where it just needs to be signed off by our superintendent, school board chair, both of the chiefs, myself and Mrs. Flynn, and that also gets sent along to the DOE. And Amy's obviously not here tonight to sign off on that. So, and this document's also been sent to Tom Morrison and Steve Lefebvre as well.
Entertain a motion to accept as written the emergency plan.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I handed out a little slip of paper with our SAS results, our New Hampshire school assessment system, statewide assessment system. I know.
That's
I
okay.
wanted to put student in there every time. I know it's not student. It's the statewide assessment system. Students in grades 3 through 8 take the reading and math assessments, and grade 5 and 8 take the science as well. The test is a combination of multiple choice, short response, and writing. Teachers have reviewed the results at the end of the school year. An interesting observation, just in looking at the scores, in 3rd grade math and reading, 23 students met proficiency, and of those 23, 13 scored a 4 or above, which is above proficient. And the same thing in 7th grade. 42 students met proficiency, and 22 scored a 4 which is above proficient. And it's interesting, it's been rare for us to have more 4s than 3s in grades, and that, we're going to look at it more closely on staff, but it just seems like there's a kind of a wider spread, and so we're going to be looking at the middle a little more closely. So the shaded areas are where we did not meet proficiency, or at least
Below state average.
we were below state average. And we've already we've already put some plans together to examine what's going on. There's some logical explanations. So we use the SAS and other assessments to create our goals for our upcoming year, which we will be doing on our back-to-school days. Our summer school numbers have been growing, and the quality of the instruction and opportunity for a more personalized approach to instruction has been great this summer. Between both programs, we have a Title I program and an extended school year program. We have 62 students attending almost all of the 12 sessions. 35% of the students who attended were present each of those times. I thought that's unusual as well. That was great. I attribute the positivity to the great teachers who were involved. They all went out of their way to make the sessions fun, and students were eager to come. Ms. Como, for example, set up a camp read-along tent up in the in the middle school wing. She had the tent, the picnic tables, and s'mores. So the students were eager to come in, read, and practice. We focus on strengthening skills like math facts, reading fluency, and comprehension. Middle school students read and finish their summer reading assignments, so they actually start the year ahead of time with confidence. I also want to thank the Plymouth Parks and Rec program for collaborating on our schedule. Nancy Stock coordinated the Title I program, and Megan Babbitt coordinated the extended school year. Thanks to their organization, the programs ran very smoothly, and I think we're going to see a real difference for those students. We have 20 days left, and our custodial and office crews have been super. They've been efficient and thorough and positive. Thanks to Gary Miller and his team, John Cormier, Matt Zumsky, Ben Gould, who's our new custodian, and want to thank Jenny Lee and Diana Johnson, who've worked in the office all summer. I also want to thank Mark and Kyla and Pam Martin and Kim DeSalvo for a really thoughtful, uplifting administrative retreat. As always, the agenda was packed with purpose and focus, including legislative updates, reviewing data, and setting goals. So I personally, I think both Kelly and I appreciate the intellectual and systems thinking approach, and I know I left feeling really buoyed and excited for the school year. So it's great. So, and we have some important dates, but most importantly is our welcome back barbecue. So we hope that you're there. On Thursday, the 22nd, we have our kindergarten open house and new student tours with student council. So we might recruit you, Luke, for that. August 26th is the first day of school, and again, I think the PTA is planning some really special opening, and then the back to school barbecue. We launch into our trips with our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in September, and we also do a school-wide Pledge of Allegiance on Thursday, August 29th, which is usually very special.
Great.
Okay, yeah, rolling right into just some quick updates on the athletics. We've got our fall sports are all beginning on Monday, August 19th. I shouldn't say are all beginning. Soccer, football, and volleyball will hold their first practice on the 19th. Field hockey is going to start on Tuesday the 20th, and cross country historically has started on the first day of school. Pending tonight and board approval of all nominations, all of our coaching staff is finally in place for the fall. So that's great. Tentative numbers from all the early signups look great. We have roughly 130 students who had signed up in the spring before we left school. And so at this point, a lot of completed permission forms, travel lease forms, schedules, medical kits, uniforms, everything's complete and ready to go for the coaches. I should have that all tied up and done by the end of this week is the mission. Team practice days and times are all on the websites, so parents can find those there. At this point, just with the exception of the soccer team, since we literally just wrapped up those coaches last week, and I have asked them to get me their practice times by the middle of this week. So once we get those, we'll get those posted on the website. So that's where we're at with the athletics. Just another quick thing on the safety updates. We're in the final stages of preparing for our tabletop on Tuesday, August 20th. That's, again, one of our teacher workshop days, which I would invite any of you, if you're available, to come to join us. We're excited that we're able to hold those discussions with our faculty and staff and have the expertise of our New Hampshire Homeland Security and our Plymouth Police Department to help facilitate those scenarios and really support our faculty and staff by providing a lot of information and some, quick thinking and common sense tools that hopefully, they will have ready to pull in the back of their mind should anything ever happen. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of recent incidents in the news lately, so the timing of this is probably right at this point. But I am excited to have that come to the school, and looking forward to having all of our staff, right down to custodial and kitchen staff, and we've invited everybody, and hopefully we'll have as many people come as possible. So. And that's,
date and time on that again?
it's August 20th, which is Tuesday, 9 a.m. And they're telling us 9 to noon, but it could be a little bit shorter than that.
Okay. Then in addition to that, there has to be a couple of drills that have been put into law now with the active shooter or assailant. So you'll see information about that as well. I don't know, do you do those now, or? So is
And
it just
refresh
a-
me again, I remember it
It's
was.
just the response to an active shooter drill
Yeah.
on top of the fire drills and all of that. So
Right,
that is,
right,
that
right,
is a
right.
new law that some schools were doing it as an optional practice,
Oh.
but now it's mandated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
On the topic of safety, I know there was an invoice for the movable walls. Has any work been done on the entryway area, safety upgrades?
I know they're working at the high school.
Yeah.
It's full bore ahead there, and we
I have
expect.
the updates
Okay.
Yeah.
for you on the agenda.
No, I was jumping.
That's
sorry.
okay.
And that's it for me?
Sorry, Brian.
That's it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent items, claims and payroll?
Claims and payroll made its way around. I have no correspondence. Do you have anything?
I did get a couple of nice notes this month. We received a gift from the church. It was from St. Mark's in Ashland. The Church of the Holy Spirit contributed some money to offset the free and reduce the bill that is with our food service. So that was one correspondence, and then we also received a thank you note from Chad, where our middle schoolers had donated $200. So that was
Great.
That's
That's great. Thank you. Discussion items, enrollment update.
So for enrollment update, I'm going to have Julie review updated class sizes. I know that's something that you had discussed at the end of last year, as well as staffing too. So we wanted to give you the most up-to-date as of when?
today.
Today. Per class, and the numbers there. Go ahead.
We kept June, just so you could see any of the shifts up or down. It's been a quiet July for us, so we have had in the past, 7 students walk in on the first day of school. Sometimes people think the first day of school is when you sign up. So we never, we go by day in the summer. We never know. It's been pretty solid through the summer. It doesn't match up. So down at the bottom that it says 46 students. That was last year's 8th grade and this 7th grade. So it doesn't correlate right across. It's diagonal.
June was end of year, July is next year.
Yes. So we have 41 kindergartners enrolled, 42 first graders with 3 teachers, 31 second grade and 2 teachers, Miss Miller and Miss Stokey, 42 in 3rd grade with 3 teachers, 41 in 4th grade, and 41 in 5th grade, 46, 47. And then our big number is 62, and we really watch that. Actually, I think that might even be up to 63. We don't have the paperwork yet, but we have a student coming. So.
I'm really happy with the class sizes as they're set up currently. My only concern is actually the grade 8 class size is going up a little bit, but those are still well under the state recommended maximum of 25. But otherwise, I think we have a good number of students per class as it's laid out.
Julie, you had mentioned that there were some logical reasons for the below state average testing. Does it correlate with 8th grade with those high numbers at all?
So if you notice, the 7th grade actually scored
Better.
the best.
Yeah.
Right.
The big
Um,
ones, 7th grade,
Yeah,
they did well.
Yeah, last year's 7th grade was big.
And so the correlation was more around curriculum alignment
Okay.
than numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at that as well.
Yeah, but it should be this year's 6th and 7th grade classes, and the 8th grade went off to high school.
Correct.
Right. So,
I gotcha.
The the incoming fourth and fifth grade both scored above average.
As did the
Incoming fifth and
incoming
sixth
eighth
grade
grade.
were both under in a couple of areas.
Julie, it looks like in the 8th grade, we ended, well, 7th grade ended with 60. We're starting with 62, and so we gained 2 over the summer, and
Yes.
we're potentially gaining another one that we know of
Yes.
before the start of school.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's hard to argue that it's,
Yeah, the
you know,
performance is
the
there.
performance seems to be up despite the numbers, so I think, like you said, watch it, we'll see what we need to do.
We're really excited. Mrs. Cleary and Ms. Babbitt in special ed are really do a lot with co-teaching, and that's their model that they're working with. So the adult support in the classroom, I think, has made a difference, you know, especially with this particular group going from 7th grade. So, and they're excited about this year, so we'll keep an eye on the volume.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
teachers do a nice job with not a stand and deliver type of model. You know, they're differentiating groups. The kids aren't together all day as a big group. So you have a little bit more flexibility with those middle school teams to move kids around in different areas in smaller groups, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Okay. All right. Facilities
Facilities.
projects.
I'm going to pass a handout around to you from John Francis, our facilities director. He just wanted to update the board on where he is in all of, especially the summer projects. So you're looking at, you had the roof recoat, that's complete. The final invoice has been received. The partitions, the final set of partitions are installed. Sheetrock and painting will take place midweek. As far as security, Phil, front entrance, they're looking at that installation, the August 7th and 8th. So tomorrow, what's Wednesday and Thursday?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
And then the greenhouse, waiting the final vendor for the heat system, and then we're moving on. So we're on track. We have a lot going on district-wide, so we are moving and shaking. We will be done for the opening of school.
Refresh my memory, what are they doing for the front entrance security? What's the change going to be?
Bulletproof glass.
So it should be, if they're doing the whole package, replacement of like safety glass, where Joan Wagner, Jesse Marinowski sit, all of that. Adding a camera system so that when you come to that first set of doors, you're identified on the camera, you need to be buzzed in before coming in. Like right now, you can just open up that first set and come into the lobby. So that's all part of it. And I think, is there safety glass also going on the doors as well? Like those other doors that are there, I
I thought there
believe?
was doors and panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost want to say the windows to the office were included as well.
Right,
too.
yeah, in front of Joan and Jesse.
Was,
Yeah.
was it the outdoor windows or was it just the interior?
I think it was
ones?
just the
Okay.
interior.
And this was all covered by, or most of it, the grant, right? from
The Homeland Security
Homeland
grant.
Security
Yeah,
grant.
there's a big portion.
Big federal match that we only
Yes.
contributed a portion of.
Yep,
Yeah.
we've done that a lot in a lot of our schools, taken advantage of that.
Did the recoat project come in as expected, invoice-wise?
I believe so, yep. Yeah, like that, yep.
Well, that was a discussion. All right, thank you. School board priorities.
So I'd like to table this until next month, until Amy is here, but basically, if we can review, I know with many of our boards, we just have a few priorities that you're looking for as a group this year. Some goals, some general goals, whether it be academic achievement, whether it's wellness, community outreach. I'll send you some examples that we use in the other schools, and then we can discuss it next month. But if you can just be thinking about what some of the main priorities are, so we can focus our agendas on that as well. So they're just broad priorities for this school year. All right,
All right, we'll table that till next meeting. Other business?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Privilege of the floor, too? No one? Okay. I entertain a motion to go into non-public session.
So motioned.
Second.
Bye.